Alright, screw it. Moira's doing something different with her show, so I can give you a proper mic check. 1, 2, yes, sir! My name is Tyler,
And I'm Zach.
and you're in the Airwaves, baby. Now, what do you want to talk about today?
The real question is, where do we start?
Oh, that's true. We got a lot. There's probably too much for just one video this month, but we'll get to that later. That's another conversation for another time. I mean, I guess the place we can start is we graduated. That's kind of a big deal. We can start there.
I thought that was a dream.
Yeah, that too fast, man. It went by too fast. But yeah, with our graduation, I feel like a fitting story to kind of start us off is we can kind of go over the sort of origin story if you want, talk about what got us here to where we are today.
Yeah.
Well, with the segment itself within rotation for Gil's rap, I guess I kind of got the idea, like, it's probably sophomore year. I don't remember when the segment started, freshman or sophomore year, but it was this Pet of the Week segment. And do you remember when that was?
I believe it was sophomore year.
Alright, so let's say sophomore year, there was this Pet of the Week segment on the show where it kind of died down after a while. It wasn't like all year, but uh, for a few weeks there would be a certain student on like each week to just showcase their pet, show off any fun tricks and just some general mischief with their animals. And however weird this sounds, it made sense in my head with this thought process. I wanted to do a music version of Pet of the Week, and it made sense in my head, like same kind of dynamic and structure, I guess. Just interviewing people each week talking about their music because there's a reason I started a segment about that. It's just the easiest way I connect with people, and I figured it would be really fun to have a segment to connect the entire school with a certain person each week through just the power of music. I thought that would be really cool.
Yeah.
And then you can talk about how you got involved with if you want.
Well,
That's kind of the more interesting story.
I was more of a last resort option. I feel he asked everybody in broadcasting. All all of them said no, so he came to me and I said, "Screw it, let's take the chance."
That's kind of messed up, but it's kind of the truth. Everyone else said it's like it's like Dante from Clerks. You weren't even supposed to be here today, man. But I think things worked out pretty all right. I lucked out
Yeah.
with my options. Things are turning out pretty sweet. And then with the segment itself, I forgot that part. With the segment itself, where how that came together, it was just kind of simple. I joined broadcasting, and I pitched the segment to the teacher, and he greenlit it. He just gave me the green light each week, and that's just kind of it. The rest is history, as they say. And that brings us to today, and I think we should just jump in straight to our first story because we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Starting off, though, we can talk about this abomination of a story. This is coming from an article on that I saw on Twitter about from blabbermouth.net. It is a story where an AI-powered Ozzy Osbourne is going to go all around the world and talk to his fans. And straight from Sharon Osbourne, she says, and I quote, "He will answer you in his own voice." This was at the licensing expo in 2026, wherever that is. It was Jack and Sharon talking about it too. That's disappointing that Jack's in on this too. And they went into some detail, and Sharon said the things that you can do with that are just endless. I don't really want to get into details, actually. This is an abomination of a story. It's desecrating the dead, it's disrespecting the deceased. Look, I don't know who all is familiar with the nature of the beast that is Sharon Osbourne, but she's notorious for leeching off of others' careers, specifically Ozzy, just leeching off of him. And I know there's been countless stories and examples of that, But from beyond the grave is a bit much, don't you think?
Yeah, he's definitely down there rolling in the grave.
Yeah, that he's that couldn't have said it better myself. It's just desecrating his memory, kind of like the Kiss thing, where like they've got that whole avatar thing. I think that's what they used to defend that, like AI avatars. Like they kind of cited those as sort of inspiration, but I feel like that's a sign of the end times. Like that's things have got to change, man. AI is too much. Like a small town family in Minnesota got their water supply cut off just for the sake of Ozzy Osbourne being the living dead and Sharon getting a few more bucks out of his dead body. It's just gross, man. I hope there's some kind of boycott. I hope this doesn't take off. Like it that's at least the that's going to be the most interesting part of this, I guess, is just the sort of fanfare and fan reception if there is any, but knowing how screwed up the world is, there's going to be some sucker that's willing to pay money in the thousands to see something like that. It's so lame, man. We'll just have to see what happens, though. That's kind of like where we're at with that. We're just going to have to see how it plays out. And next story we can kind of both kind of touch on, but uh, Drake's got a new album out. It's called Iceman. I know, like, from last episode, we were talking about outer taste, and this isn't exactly something we go for, but it's not an album review. We're just reporting the news, so we can tell you Drake has a new album out. Listen to that if you want to. I can, just to kind of make this segment a bit longer and more interesting, I can talk about the uh, sort of controversy behind it because, like, he's if you've noticed anything online with his marketing, he's been using this like ice out glove to promote the album, and it's like Michael Jackson's Thriller glove, and it's so like it's not the exact same level, like I guess, but it's kind of like similar to the Ozzy thing we just talked about, like desecrating the dead. It just
Yeah.
feels like it should be wrong.
Every single one of his covers is almost an exact replica of Michael's as well.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think that was someone else. I thought it was Chris Brown, which is even an even grosser artist. He's an abuser. He's a sex pest. There's so much going on there. But he did like a complete rip off of the Thriller cover. Thought he was doing some fun tribute. Thought he was doing something, but it's just dorky and weird. But with the Drake thing, Iceman's out now. He not stole the Thriller glove. That's how I first heard about it. It's kind of misleading. He got in an auction, but it's still weird how that works.
$120,000 for that?
Yeah, he paid 120K for that glove, dude. It's weird how that works too. Like, no, it didn't go to his kids. Just auction it off. Sure, whatever. That's it's just weird how those things work. I'd love to be a fly on the wall to see what the legal teams come up with to defend moves like that.
That would have been perfect glove to use in the Michael movie.
Right, yeah. But they weren't allowed to use it. They had to auction it off instead. It's so weird how that works. I feel like that's enough. And actually, never mind. I forgot. There's one more thing. It's just a bit of a rumor and innuendo. I don't know how truthful it is. I'm just gonna put that up front just so that way we don't get in too much trouble. But I heard some kind of rumor about him stealing some beats too from one of his songs. I don't know what artist he stole from. I don't know where to go. What song of Drake's that the beats or samples were a part of. I don't even know where to go online to hear the story about it. I just know I heard that somewhere through the grapevine, and I feel like that's something worth reporting. So that just an interesting rumor considering everything around him, especially after the whole Kendrick Lamar feud. Drake's got like a lot of notoriety and bad reputation attached to his name, to say the least. So doing things like this with the whole Michael Jackson thing and like the rumors about stealing beats is just an interesting choice for him for sure. But that's enough about that. We can go to the meat of our episode today. You
All
can
right.
talk about some concerts
Yep.
coming up.
We have 8 concerts we're talking about today, with a couple breaks in between to talk about other stuff. But starting it off, one that I think everybody has heard coming up is the 21 Pilots concert.
Yeah, it sucks it's sold out, but it's still something worth reporting.
Yeah, that one will be on October 17th at 6 p.m. at the Horseshoe here in Columbus.
That's really cool that they can get a venue like that. Like I was at the Horseshoe a couple years ago, and we left early, but it was Motley Crue touring with Def Leppard and Alice Cooper. Like that's the level of artist you've got to be to pull an audience like that. So the fact that artists as young as 21 Pilots and they are able to sell out a venue, a stadium like that is really
Yeah.
awesome.
And I mean, as he was saying, they're sold out, but you could probably go to Ticketmaster. All the information I'm getting is from Vivid Seats. I know their cheapest tickets right now, which is up in the nosebleeds, and all the cheapest tickets that we'll be talking about will be up there, obviously. It is $439 each. That's not including the tax on them and then parking and the food that you'll be getting there. So,
Yeah, ticket scalpers just need to die. I hate to be that harsh, but there's no
yeah.
other way to put it. They are subhuman. Like, if you see a ticket scalper that proclaims themselves as much in public, you should be allowed to urinate on their body. Like, they are disgusting human beings. Like, I don't get how they get away with it so often. Ticket scalpers are just so. I don't even get the point of it. Like, sold out, but you can buy nosebleed tickets for $400 plus. It's so weird, man.
Yeah. And the next concert that I'll be covering right now is the AC/DC concert. It's also in the Horseshoe. That is July 15th at 7 p.m. And the cheapest tickets, once again, up in the nosebleeds, those are $103 each.
That one I don't think we can blame as much on ticket scalpers. That's just the vice grip monopoly that Live Nation and Ticketmaster have. Another thing that needs to die, but it's separate issues. But with those two things on top of each other, it's just the worst time to be a live music fan. That's what my dad usually says, and he's like spot on with it. It's like there's no concert you can go to for a good price. Like it's all just triple digit at the cheapest for nosebleed seats, and it's so gross, man. Like something needs to change, but with everything going on with this current political environment, like concert tickets are so far down the priority list in terms of what politicians are going to be focused on today. It's just not gonna. I'm scared. It's just not going to be something that's going to change soon. It needs to, but I don't know who's going to be able to do that. But the tour sounds cool. That's another one that if you can afford to go, it's definitely one that sounds interesting. I don't know if this is right, but that's the one with Pretty Reckless too, isn't it?
I believe so.
I don't know if it's got it on there, but I thought that was the tour where Pretty Reckless is like co-headliner, supporting act, or whatever for ACDC.
If I can type, I'll look it up.
All right, I can talk about it while you're looking for it. But anyone
Yep.
unfamiliar, it is
Yep, it is Pretty Reckless,
nice.
who are the opening act.
That's a big deal for them, man. Like, again, a young band like being able to, or younger, I guess they're like over a decade old, but still, you like compared to ACDC, they're a young band for sure. But uh, newer band, I guess, is a better term. A newer band like them being
Yeah.
able to latch onto a tour with ACDC and get a show at the Horseshoe is a massive deal. And for anyone who might be unfamiliar with their work, I can tell you exactly who the Pretty Reckless are. The lead singer, Taylor Momsen, was Cindy Lou Who in the How the Grinch Stole Christmas movie with Jim Carrey. So that's just your random bit of trivia for the day. And they're a good band too. They got a lot of good music. So that again, that's a massive deal for them. Hopefully, no spiders or bats bite Taylor in the leg this time, because that I don't know if that's like a huge mainstream story, but that's something that's been happening a lot to that poor woman. And hopefully, Columbus, the animals in the Columbus area treat her more kindly than the other concerts she's been playing. But taking a break from the concerts for right now, I've got a bit of news to report on myself in terms of new music coming out. First of all, it's going to be involving Godsmack. First of all, Sully Erna, the lead singer, has officially gone public with his relationship with Dorothy Martin from the band Dorothy, and that that's always sweet to hear, like different relationships being announced like that. And they announced with the relationship confirmation too that I thought I heard there's going to be a new song coming out with the two artists too, so that's going to be interesting. I'm a big fan of both of them. Godsmack had their last album, Lighting Up the Sky, in 2023, I think, and Dorothy's got a lot of good stuff. She did a song recently with Slash from Guns N' Roses. It's called Tombstone Town. That's a good one, but a lot of them have, both of them have some uh, minor mainstream success, I guess you can say, like more on the mainstream side of rock and roll. And alongside this, hard launch, I guess, like that's how they phrase it today, don't they?
I think so.
I don't know. But alongside that, Sully also had an interview with Billboard talking about the potential for some new music with Godsmack altogether. That he said definitely there's going to be a new record. I just don't know when it's coming. We'll probably get some new music out by early 27, I suppose. I'm starting to noodle on some new songs, but it's a little too soon to say. And that usually is just another segment in the news cycle that kind of gets watched over, but that is kind of a big deal because, like, with that 2023 album that I mentioned, that was supposed to, allegedly their uh, final album. They said they were just going to be a sort of legacy band from now on, touring from their catalog instead of making new music. But it's kind of like the Kiss rule, you know? Like, you never say never. Everyone always comes back. And I just didn't expect it to be that soon, if I can be honest. But if anyone was underwhelmed or disappointed that Godsmack's final album was in 2023, then fear not. You got some new music to look forward to on the over the horizon. Definitely exciting for sure. I'm interested to see what new Godsmack sounds like, see if it's better or kind of on the same level as the last album. It'll be interesting. Now go ahead and take us back into some concert talk. I'm interested to see what else is coming to town.
We got a few more coming up before another break. So first one to start off, we have Weird Al Yankovic.
That's going to be a big one for some people.
Yeah. He will be at the Ohio Expo Center during the State Fair in Columbus, obviously. All of these are, all the concerts I'm mentioning will be in Ohio. So that'll be on August 5th at 7 p.m. And the cheapest tickets as of right now are showing $64 each.
All things considered, that's honestly kind of a good deal.
Yeah, I mean, with
I don't know about a state fair concert though. $64 for a state fair concert seems like a bit much.
This Ohio State Fair is pretty expensive, so
it is.
Got to keep it. The parking there, just all the food and all the attractions there, you're gonna spend a lot if you go.
I don't think I've ever actually been. That's news to me. That kind of makes sense, though. Weird Al kind of feels like a state fair kind of artist.
Yeah.
That's cool for him. Cool for anyone that's interested in seeing him.
Just want to know what cover songs he'll be doing this time. All right, and up next we have Smashing Pumpkins. They will be at the Value City Arena in Columbus. That'll be September 30th at 8 p.m. Cheapest tickets I'm seeing are $88 each.
Again, all things considered, that's kind of a good deal, but the fact that we're able to say $88 is a good deal for tickets, and what this is nosebleeds again, right?
Yeah, all these low prices are nosebleeds, and they're kind of on that angle where it's not the best view of the artist, but it's always a good view.
That's just absurd, man. I don't know how ticket websites can get away with that. And where is it, or when is it? Sorry.
That is Fiddle Load, September 30th
Hmm.
at 8 p.m.
I'm just curious because I'm trying to find some supporting acts for anyone curious, but I'm not seeing anything actually. Still cool though for anyone interested in it. And got another break in the action for the concert cycle. I'm gonna be reporting on some more new music. We got some news with Beartooth. It's a smaller band, but it's from Columbus, so it's cool we can claim them as our own. They got some new music out. They already had their track "Free." That's the first one that they released from this cycle, but they also released "Pure Ecstasy," and that's going to be the title track from their new album that's going to be out August 28th, which is really cool. And alongside that, there's arguably some bigger news than anything just music related. The lead singer Caleb Shomo has officially come out as gay, and that's honestly really cool to hear. Like, first of all, that he's comfortable enough to share that with the world, but also I hope he's gonna be all right because, like, rock and roll, whatever stereotypes or jokes or stories you want to tell with that, it's a very closed-minded community, I'd say. Like, for the most part, at least, there, if you're in the right, like, subculture with the, like, in the right community, you can be safe and comfortable. But the wide variety of, or the wider range of rock bands are very closed-minded when it comes to that, especially like with heavy metal being this big macho manly genre. It's hard to be as flamboyant and open and comfortable in your skin as Caleb is. I'm really glad he is, though. Like, that's
Yeah.
definitely very cool that he's able to do that. Just with that, though, it's really stupid that arguments and debates like that have to be made in the big 2026. Like, this has been something that's been argued about for decades, ever since David Bowie and Alice Cooper were cross-dressing and Kurt Cobain wore a dress in Nirvana's early days. It's just so weird that this has to be a debate. Like, just let people live their lives, man, for the love of God.
Yeah.
All right, I don't want to get
All
too fired up about this. Talk about some more concerts
right.
before we dive down a rabbit hole.
We got my final three concerts that I'll be speaking about. Starting this off, we got the Zach Brown Band. That'll be at the Nationwide Arena August 14th at 7 p.m. Cheapest tickets are $30 each.
Now that is, in any environment, that's a really good deal. I'm not too familiar with them. But it's one that even I've heard of, so I
Yeah.
know it's a big band. So a major, like, I'd assume they're a popular artist, right? So a
Yeah.
popular
Very
artist.
they're I wouldn't say like very popular, but they're definitely known for their music.
So pretty well known artists like that having cheap tickets, like $30 tickets, is a pretty big deal. That should be the norm, but it's
Yeah.
hopefully a good sign of some change to come, maybe across all genres of music. Fingers crossed, hopefully.
All right. And up next we have Youngblood. It'll be at Kempa Live in Columbus. That it's showing that it was rescheduled for May 4th, but I don't know if that's already happened. Sorry if I'm mentioning a concert that's already passed, but it's showing on here that it's August 2nd at 7 p.m. The only two prices for tickets, you've either got $300 or $750.
Yeah, that's
Your choice.
that right, but such a wide variety of pricing options. How generous. That's definitely a drastic change too from the last concert with $30 tickets compared to, I'm assuming again, nosebleeds for this one, right?
There's not. It's all just general admission,
Oh,
so
it's
it's
standing room only.
standing.
Gotcha.
There's no real
I forgot. Yeah, it's
nosebleed.
at Kemba. It's only standing room up
Yeah.
there unless you have like the little handicapped seating like on the left side of the pit.
Yeah.
And I think there's like a VIP lounge up top. Is that the $700
Yep. That's
tickets?
the 700.
So yeah, I forgot that's a standing room only venue. That's again, that's really weird, especially for a smaller venue like that. I wouldn't expect concerts or tickets to be that expensive. Youngblood's been doing some good stuff though, so if you can afford it, check it out. Like he's been kind of taking the world by storm, so to speak, in the music industry. Uh, First with the uh, Black Sabbath concert, the whole Back to the Beginning thing, that Changes cover is so awesome. And then he had an EP with Aerosmith of all bands. That's a massive deal. I think it was a re-release with some older songs. That's all it was. But they had Youngblood featured on them, and it was, first of all, that EP was awesome because they blended together so well. It was hard to tell sometimes which one was which, like which one was Steven Tyler and which one was Youngblood. But yeah, he's done some good stuff. Just kind of disappointing to hear that you have to pay that much to see him.
And I mean, there's also I don't know if it was an AI cover or if it was actually him, but he did a "I Was Made for Lovin'" cover.
Oh yeah, that was a legit cover. That was in the Fall Guy.
All right, and it sounded pretty nice for his voice, and hearing that and then the original as well.
Yeah, that was good.
And our final concert to talk about, we have Olivia Rodrigo. She'll be at the Value City Arena in Columbus. That's October 29th at 7 p.m. Sorry about that. The cheapest tickets I am seeing are $363 each. And that's nosebleed, obviously.
Look, this is just a broken record at this point, but almost every single concert that we've talked about have triple-digit nosebleed tickets. Something's gotta change, man. That's obviously an issue if it's getting to that kind of point. But I don't know when anything is gonna change. I do know with Olivia Rodrigo, I've heard a couple songs. She's all right, but all I know is that she's got like a sort of younger fan base, so that's gotta be disappointing. Like some of her fans probably don't even know any better. They don't have a tangible concept of what money is, so they'll be disappointed to not understand why they can't go to their favorite artist's concert.
And backtracking a little bit for the Zach Brown Band, if you want front row, front and center, right in front of the stage, it is $1,600. But if you choose to get second row, front and center in front of the stage, it's only $830. So half the price for second row or double the price for first row, your choice.
That's about more accurate for how tickets should be, but it's still crazy that you have to pay that much for those kinds of tickets. Like artists complain all the time about fans being on their phones, and yet the only people that are able to go to their concerts aren't even like proper fans. It's just millionaires that want to be able to say they've been there. It's so weird. But yeah, we can backtrack a bit. There's some cool stuff to talk about. I forgot with 21 Pilots too. I'm not as familiar with their music. I know a couple songs, but I can say at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame last year, they did this cover of Seven Nation Army for the White Stripes tribute, and that was so good, dude. It was like it fit his voice really well, and he did a great job with it. Definitely an interesting concert cycle too. I got one more to kind of close us out. We got Everclear coming to Reynoldsburg for the Tomato Festival up there for anyone interested. And from my expert reporting, from what I'm seeing, the cheapest tickets available are free admission for anyone that wants to go. It's gonna. I forgot what the date of the concert was, but it's August 15th at 8:30 p.m. That's as far as I'm seeing. I don't know if that's not entirely accurate. Do your own research and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, Reynoldsburg Tomato Festival. Everclear is going to be playing for free if anyone's interested in going to that. And even if you're not like a huge fan of them, like I know I'm not necessarily into them as much unless my parents are playing their albums while we're playing like cards or something. But any concert you can go to for free is definitely worth it. I think it's definitely worth it just for the experience. I'm a live music fan. I'm a sucker for any sort of live concert I can get to. So even if I'm not a huge fan, it's gonna be a fun time for sure. And hey, maybe I might see a few people there. Who knows? It would be fun to see you. So check it out if you're interested, or if your parents are interested. I don't know what the sort of age demographic for their music is nowadays. And I got one more to close us out too in terms of new music. One more story for you with Motionless in White. First of all, they got a new song out. It's called Playing God. They said it's a sequel to their song Soft. That's kind of what they do with some of their songs. Like, it's basically a fancy, like, official version of just making callbacks to earlier songs. That's just what they do, but it's still cool. It's definitely on the heavier side, so viewer discretion is advised with that for sure. But the release of this song featuring Corey Taylor, by the way, I'm kind of burying the lead there. It's Playing God featuring Corey Taylor from Slipknot and Stone Sour. And for anyone not too keen on the whole heavy metal thing, that's kind of the best thing I could come up with is to kind of compare it is like when Kendrick Lamar was on the song with Future. Like that's kind of on the level of artist collaboration we've got here. It's a big deal for Motionless in White to be able to collaborate with someone like Corey. The song's great too, again on the heavier side, but it was also accompanied by the announcement of their album Decades. You got the whole track listing online. Just look it up on wherever you get your music from, or you could just Google it. I think it'll probably be on there too, or on social media or something. Album's gonna be out July 17th, and with the uh, track listing, the interesting thing is they also confirmed that there's going to be a song called Sunglasses at Night, and it's going to be a Corey Hart cover, and it's an interesting one. I'm definitely interested to see how they incorporate their sound to it. I know they did a cover of Somebody Told Me by the Killers not too long ago, too, and it was a good cover, but it's just sort of like copy and paste. It's a color by numbers cover. Nothing wrong with it, but it's sort of not reinventing the wheel, so to speak. It's gonna be interesting to see what they do with this one, though. I'm interested in seeing it. I'm excited for the album altogether. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
And that's about it for the music cycle this month, but we're already over a half hour, so this is probably something that needs to change. So if you want to, we can both kind of touch on it, but
No, I mean, with like Tyler mentioned at the beginning of the video, just it's a long one. We've got 16 segments, so we're gonna do a schedule change and move it to bi-weekly instead of once a month.
yeah, I know it's a quick change to the sort of format that we, or the unofficial official format that we laid out. Like, one episode is a bit much for a quick change like that, but we're just starting off, we're just finding our footing, we're trying to see what works, and yeah, I feel like that's the right move, just so that way we could talk about different stories for longer amounts of time and also not worry about any sort of time constraints or trying to fit everything in just 1 month. Things might change again once we get further along. It might become weekly. You never know, but it's going to be bi weekly to start off with. So be on the lookout for another episode. I'd say like middle of May, second week of May, probably. But for now, like I said, we're already at clocking it at over a half hour. So we probably got to wrap things up sooner than later. So I've been Tyler.
And I'm Zach.
And we'll see you in the airwaves.